Hello everyone. Welcome in this new live dedicated to Mongolia and its art and culture. I'm really glad to see you here again today. I hope that you had a very good week, that you enjoyed and that you learned new things and all that. As for me, I'm working kind of like full time now on the upcoming book because it's been a serious while since this book has been started, and now I think it's the time for me to finish it. So I'm kind of like going full time on the book because it's also something that I really wish to share with you guys very soon. So hello Bjorn, how are you? Thanks for joining. It just started. So I'm kind of hello Blaviken, thanks for joining. So I'm kind of like full time more or less on the book, and I might hello Magne, thanks for joining as well. And I might kind of put the other things a little bit on the side until the book is released, because this is something that really takes a lot of my brain process kind of, and I really want to get done with the book, with the translation of the different Urtindo poems and so on. And also I want to be done with it, so I will be able to start sharing new text and new translation and all that. So until this thing is not finished, that's a little bit difficult for me to start new translation, new study of text and all that. So I kind of decided, as now there is the live that help us to get a connection so I can share some music and so on. I kind of decided to use the quarantine to, on one side, read different books that I need for my master degree and for some other things, and on the other side, work on mine, finish the writing. So basically, the Mongolian Cyrillic is finished. The English is finished. The French should be finished, I think, this weekend, hopefully. Then the transposition from the Cyrillic to the Mongol Bichik, all the poems are done. They just need to be checked. So I need to transpose the different notes and the different explanation. That should be kind of fast. Hopefully, all the content should be ready this month. I really want to rush and to focus on this. Then I will have few double checking with my different partner and different teachers and the design, and that should be up hopefully very soon. So I just wanted to share a little bit about this book. I know that some of you might already know that this has been going on for a while. Also, my skills in Mongolian language were not that high when I started the book a few years ago. Now my skills are way different, so I also kind of see some things that need some tweaking and stuff. So I'm working on that now. So kind of focusing on the book more or less full time now to get done with it, and so I would be able to share the content with you. So that was a little bit the introduction of this live, kind of to talk to start with that. So I will get into the one the one question that were asked on Discord. There were only one question this week. So let's see. Okay, this question is coming from Magne, and is asking, I learned not so long ago about the Cairn, or Mongolian Mound of Stone. Could you please tell us more about it? So yeah, of course, with pleasure. So the Cairn, some of you might have seen these kind of mount of stones. There is different size. Usually, no, there isn't really usually, because it can be maybe 50 centimeter round. That's basically kind of like this sized stone that are put among each other, on top of each other, to make a kind of, maybe not a pyramid, but yeah, a mound of stones. So it can be kind of small. Sometimes it can be just three little stone. Sometimes it's more. So usually we start to talk about Owoo. So that's the name of this mound of stone, Owoo. Kind of like when it starts to be maybe 50, 60 centimeter of diameter. Then it can be 1 meter, it can be few meter round kind of. And it's kind of the home of the guardian spirit of the place where it is located. So usually an ovo is kind of put on how to say, on a lofty place. So it's not like inside a valley or inside a hole or something like that. It's always kind of on a place that is a little bit on top of the various of the various things that can be around. So it's kind of the closest, I would say, from the sun. It can also be very easily seen. So, or it can be around a very sacred place. For example, close to a little cave, or close to what we call kind of sacred source of water. So, or close to very famous rock or kind of natural monument, or stuff like that. So it kind of represent the home of the guardian spirit of the area, or of the monument, or the special water source, or cave, or whatever it can be around. So that's kind of like, yeah, the this home of guardian spirits. So that's kind of to talk about how it's, where it is placed, how it looks, kind of. So to add about the look, traditionally in old time there were just the stones, and eventually one piece of wood, kind of in the middle. Gradually, with the influence of the Buddhism, people started to put hatak. So we saw before, like these blue scarf. Sometimes they also put not just blue, but it can be of the five color of the Buddhism. So the red, the green, the blue, yellow, and white. Sometimes also it's not just one piece of wood that goes from the mount, but it's like many. Sometimes there is a fence, sometimes there is not. Sometimes when there is a fence, that's also to put more hadak on. It's kind of on the fence, so people can put more, and can kind of access more of this sacred area. So traditionally there were not no hadak; it was just one wood. Also, sometimes it can be like, how to say, some bronze or metal decoration, like kind of like the representation of the sun, an eagle. What did I saw? So like the trident, kind of, that also represent the fire. So it's really now it became a little bit fancy, if I could use the word fancy. It became very influenced with the different tribe, the different ethnic groups, and also the Buddhism influenced a lot the ritual around this ovo, this cairn, mound of stone that we can see in Mongolia. Usually, we can mostly see them in the countryside because it's in the middle of the nature. Of course, when the city were created, sometime the building or the road or stuff, it kind of was built on top of the ovo. Usually, they try to go on the side or to avoid destroying it. But of course, I mean, now in the city of Ulaanbaatar, it's so big that I think that some building might have been built on some sacred ovo, I guess. So that's kind of to talk about the place, how where it is, how it's formed, and all that. Now to talk about the ritual that goes with this ovo. Usually we always when we see a ovo, we usually turn kind of in the yeah in the way of the sun from the left, and we turn 3 times. During this turning, if I can say turning around, we will give usually 3 stones, 3 stones that we just gather from the area around the oval. Usually we give 1 stone per turn, per lap, if I could say. Again, this 3 comes and represent the higher kingdom, middle kingdom, lower kingdom. Again, this symbolism is very omnipresent, is very present in the Mongolian culture. In terms of offering, we can give also some tea, some, I would say, not exactly the rice, some seeds. For me personally, I usually give seeds because as I talked with some interesting, not really scientist, but a person that is very related to the Buddhism and the rituals, you were telling me that actually giving seeds, so it can be, I don't know, like corn or kind of like rice or millet, these kind of seeds. You were telling me, and this really amazed me, and I adopted this way straightforward. Just after listening it, I didn't give any tea or milk tea or milk or these curds anymore. I always give seeds because he told me that actually giving the seeds, it's actually nourishing the animals that are around this area. So it directly connects with the nature, with the animals. So by giving the seeds, it's gonna feed kind of the birds. It's gonna feed maybe little animal like squirrel and things like that, and which will feed bigger animals and all that. So it kind of supporting more the cycle of life, if I could say. So for me, I find it that giving seeds is a little bit closer to the nature, especially from what this guy told me. It really resonated in me. So now I usually give the seeds um, to the ovo. And hello, Laura. Thanks for joining. Nice to see you here. So basically, that's kind of it about the ovo, the ritual that goes around. Usually, if we see a big ovo, we should not just go pass by. We should mark at least like I would say use the bell of the, not the bell, what it is, the signal of the car 3 times when we pass around the ovo. Usually we should always pass on the left side, not on the right side, because that's also how the energy is flowing around this ovo. And yeah, I think that's kind of it about the ritual. Actually, there is a little verse that we can say during the turn around the oval. Usually there is 6 lines, so 2 lines during the first run, 2 lines during the second one, and 2 lines during the third one. So it's like ovoni ichen manda, oltsni ichen manda, olin ichen tanda, olzin ichen manda, himrin ichen tanda, hishkin ichen manda. So to explain the meaning, ovoni ichen tanda, it means that the best part of this ovo be yours. Yours talking to the guardian spirits, kind of. So may the best place of this ovo be your home, kind of, or we can a little bit understand like that. Then the Olsni Manda, it means like may we be very wealthy, have kind of like success or good fortune, and not just me, but all the person that can be around while we are doing this turn, this slap, this little ritual. So that can be the first 2 lines during the first turn. So Ovoni ikin tanda, Oltni ikin manda. Then during the second turn, Olin ikin tanda, this means may the highest part of the area, kind of, or the highest part of the hill or highest part of the mountain be yours. So kind of saying may the best location of the area, the closest to the sun, be yours. So again, talking to the guardian spirits. And then Ulzni Manda, it means like may I be blessed with good luck. May I have good luck in the future. May we have good luck. So that's for the second turn. Ulzni Tanda, Ulzni Manda. And then during the third one, Himrin Tanda. So Himer, that's a tricky word. Himer actually can be translated by ethereal horse, kind of like spirit of horse, or hair of horse, or air horse, kind of. And Himer in Mongolian, it's also the success of the soul, the very great fortune. So it's kind of like this little line is like super deep. It's kind of wishing for the guardian spirit to have a successful lineage, kind of, or something like that. Yeah, that's a little bit tricky to explain, but that's super huge, kind of. And then the last line, Hishkin Manda. Again, it's like maybe may we be blessed with good favor from you, Tengir, and from you, the guardian spirits. So kind of like us, not exactly asking for protection, but a little bit may we have your favor, or something like that. So usually that's the sixth line that we can say when we are turning around the ovo. So ovoni ichintanda, olsni ichimanda, olini ichintanda, olzin ichimanda, and the sulin two, the last two, himerin ichintanda, hishkin ichimanda. So that's for the little words that we can say around this ovo. And I think that I kind of covered the subject now. Is there anything else that I should think about? No, I think that's it. Usually, as for my own experience, the way I kind of do it, I usually have the kind of the rice, the seeds, and all that with me. I always have a little bag. We never know what can happen. Then I take 3 stones from around the area of the Owoo. I give the stone on the first turn, 1 stone. Then I give a little bit of rice seeds and stuff. Then I recitate. And at the end, once I made the free turn, I like to express my gratitude as well to the place, to the guardians, to the spirits, to Tingir, kind of thanks for letting me be here in that area. Thanks for accepting me to be here. Because sometimes I go in the forest or in not really dangerous, but in some areas and stuff. So it's always good to feel that we are kind of welcome in the area. And if I have my Morin, usually I would play some music for the place, as we saw in the show and so on. The Morin is also helping pleasing the spirits, pleasing the guardian spirits, um, and bring good omen, good energy, and all that. So it's always good to make also a music offering or singing. If you sing Homi, you can sing Homi there. And I know as a fact that each Owo have their own little poems, have their own. I might exaggerate if I say name, but I think that they have names like the name of the place. They have specific songs and all that. When I went to Hoft, actually, there were these grandpa Singedorch, which is a homage, torch, Maktaj, and amazing person, which passed away unfortunately now. And when we were going from the center of Hof to Chanman, we stopped a few times in some Ovo, and he was saying that, yeah, I'm singing the specific melody from what I understood back then. Singing kind of the specific melody of this Ovo to please this specific guardian spirit. So it's very interesting, and I know also that uh, uh, for the women who are like giving the milk to the mountains and all that, they also have specific poems depending to which mountain, which area they would give the milk. My teacher sometime gave me few verse that they can say when they are giving the milk as an offering to the mountain. As each ethnic groups, they have their own kind of guardian mountain, if I could say like that. So yeah, that's super very interesting and super very rich. So yeah, this little pack of stone actually is incredibly rich, and the energy around this little pack of stones of this Owo is the energy is usually very different, and there is some communication that are possible there, especially if you have a murhur, a hirhur, a drum, or a tofshur. It's like it's gonna be very easy to communicate, kind of, if I could say communicate. So yeah, I think that that's kind of it for the ovo subject. I hope that I answered the question. I tried to give you as much information as I could, and from what I know. So I can see that there were some little comment in the chat, so I will just check that out. BjornBiff, I was going to put a question in there, but I was a little bit busy this week and I forgot. Oh, it's okay. And yeah, as Magne say, you can just ask the question now. Bjorn, then how much did you know about Mongolia before wanting to go there? Basically, I almost knew nothing about Mongolia. The first time I heard the Tuamban Honhorto, I really knew nothing. And when I say nothing, it's almost that I didn't know Chinggis Khan. I heard the name, but what it did, or what was Mongolia, where was Mongolia, um, what was the culture, I barely knew anything. I was like a total blank sheet. I would say a sheet of paper. So yeah, I barely knew anything. Then after a year, kind of getting into this Tuvan Mongolian culture, I met few Mongolians in France. They kind of showed me a little bit the culture, especially the food. um, but they were not also too traditional. Like, I don't remember that I've seen Dale back in France. I mean, I saw Dale maybe 2 or 3 times in concert. Um, like concert from the Buryat Alexander Arkinchev, which was the first concert I ever saw of live homie, and I was like, oh, totally mind blown. Then I saw also Hossa and Trans Mongolia. I saw Alterhanga, and I think that's it. And then I came to Mongolia, but yeah, I knew very little. I didn't really know much about the food, about the land, about, I mean, I just knew what we could see in the videos, like, as I always say, like, in a funny way, the slow motion girl giving the offering, the super strong guy on the horse, and kind of like a grabbing horse, or the archery and all these traditional things. But that's not exactly the reality, because in the videos, in the clip and all that, that's kind of staged. And when it comes to the reality, that's not exactly like that, from my experience. So yeah, like, I just started to learn from scratch, like really from scratch. I really didn't know anything, the language and all that. So yeah, it's like really started from zero. So I hope that answers the question, Bjorn. Then Magne, when I saw the picture of Ovo, it reminded me of how our mountain villager in Carpathian gather straw, the dry glass that they prepare for animals. They also put it around high wooden sticks. Oh, that's also pretty cool. Actually, I think that this Owoo is a very ancient tradition, and it's present in so many different cultures, not just Mongolia, because it also relates to how a lot of culture in ancient time buried their dead. So I think that it might connect also with that, because as we saw the Ovo as the home of the guardian spirit, sometimes the guardian spirit can be grandpa that were alive or something like that. So I'm pretty sure it's not a pure Mongolian thing. That must be very huge, because even in archaeology we can find this kind of ovo or burial in many different kind of culture. So yeah, that's definitely something that seems to be a little bit universal, even more interesting. The thing is, I guess that in Mongolia, as Mongolia were still pretty untouched until the last few centuries, that's why it's still very here. It's very alive, kind of, and very present here. Because, for example, in France, there is city everywhere, and there is, I would say, agriculture everywhere. So there is not much space for these kind of things, I guess. But in Mongolia, that's still very present. So yeah, that's super cool. That's the first ritual I've heard of that uses a car. Yeah, actually, the thing is that when we are kind of like rushing in the countryside, sometimes people don't really want to just stop They just want to keep going because that it's very long. It's very long road. Kind of stopping. It means that we're gonna stay a while. We might talk. We might eat a little bit. So it's kind of breaking the motivation of going. So a lot of people don't want to just stop and maybe lose, if I could say, 1 or 2 hour or so. So to still pay the respect to the ovoo, usually we use the signal at least 3 times, and sometimes there is even people that with the bus or with the car they make the free turn around the ovoo if the ovoo is big enough. And that's also very cool, that's also very interesting, and that's okay, this person really kind of respect this tradition and these beliefs. So yeah, that's also pretty cool. um I have Laura is adding, I have sometimes seen wind horse as a translation of Hymir. So yeah, Hymir, if we translate literally, he is air and Mer is horse, then it can be, there is a lot of different way to translate it, but the thing is that this word carries so much. There is so much culture and so much philosophy going on in this word that's super complicated to translate. It's so yeah, wind horse can work, hair horse can work. I like the idea of ethereal horse. It makes it a little bit more like spiritual or abstract. And horse is of course a very big totem of the Mongolian. But yeah, it's way more than just a wind horse or air horse, and yeah, that's super complicated to really give a translation for this word, because that's super deep and philosophical. So yeah. Hello, go Kalp Yaltsin. Thanks for joining. And Laura is adding, Magne, in rural Ireland, there are stone cairn on mountain tops that remind me a bit of Owoo. Yeah, so it even went to Ireland, so that's super cool. I really enjoy all that. Oh, I made a typo here. It's grass, not glass. I was wondering, Magne, why you were talking about glass. It was grass. Okay. Hello, Monet Book and Yunus Valunya. Thanks for joining. Okay, so and Enes also joined us today. Thanks for joining, everyone. Very nice to see you here. So that was the only question that I had from the Discord, but it still took a little while. So now, as you guys know, we will get into the Urtindo practice. So I hope that you guys have the metaphor ready. So let me maybe change the angle a little bit. Then we will get into the tuning of the instrument, and we will get into a bit of meditation playing, if I could say. Some people are kind of saying that it's very like a meditation. So just as a quick reminder, for this Urtindo practice, if some of you just joined us today, the different rules are: the bowing is freestyle. You don't need to copy exactly what I do. Just keep a good volume and try to go a little bit slowly. Second one, the fingering is also freestyle. You do whatever you want. If you want to play the full exercise on the first finger, you can do it. If you want to do a little bit crazy, complicated combination, you can do it. Or you can just do the same thing as I do. Up to you. There is no rules. It's very open. Then I will pull the D, and once I did that, I will give you the first note. Once the first note is there, you can start to play. You can start playing. While I pull the D, just breathe, relax, wait patiently, get into the sound, get into the melody, the sound of the metaphor. Then you can also do some decoration if you want. You can try. What I would suggest is that avoid being too speedy in the decoration. For example, for the vibrato, avoid doing these kind of things because it's gonna give you bad habit, and that's not very cool to hear, especially with a singer and so on. And for the tsohilt or hammering, same, avoid doing that. Just you can do it very peacefully. So that's kind of important. Also, you don't need to be all the time making ornaments and decoration. You can just keep the steady note all the time without vibrato, without effect. That's also gonna be super helpful. And yeah, that's kind of it. So we will get into the tuning. Before starting, I will just check that there is no anything too crazy on the chat. Blond Vengeance is asking, do you still do live performance even during COVID? So no, I don't have any live performance except on YouTube. I don't have performance. This year, I think I gave 2 free lecture, free conference with performance, and I think that's it. So yeah, 3 or 4 this year, and usually before COVID, I had 2 or 3 performance per week. So yeah, that's a little bit frustrating, but yeah, that's okay. How do I can tune my metaphor to based on La 432? So Yunus, there is a episode about that. You can check it out. That's the episode about how to use tuning application, I think, and how to tune the metaphor. So there is actually 2 episodes about that. So you can check it out. And after the live, you can check it out and get the information there. So as now in the chat seems to be pretty calm, we will start by tuning the instrument all together. So I will just drink a little bit. So first we will tune the lower string. So I will give you the note a little bit so you have the time to tune. Also allow me to warm up. That it should be enough. So I guess that should be enough for the lower string. Now we can do the higher string. I have no idea what is the tuning. Sorry about that. hope so. Then we can check the two strings together. Okay. So today, now your instrument should be tuned. We should be all tuned together. Today, my idea is that, again, I will start pretty slowly, pretty peacefully uh, in the first minute or something, just so you can get into the exercise. And then I might get a little bit crazy. I mean, it's still not gonna be a real urtindo. I will still play kind of slowly, but I want to start to implement some little decoration and some little effect. And we might use the second string a little bit because I think that can be cool. So I will start peacefully in the beginning, and gradually I will start to get a little bit more um, enthusiast, I would say, not too slowly. So it can also sound a little bit more like a song and not just like very long note. So yeah, that's also to make the melody a little bit more interesting. So I hope that you are ready. Let's get started. Now you can start following. Remember to breathe, to relax your body. faster and richer now, just to give you a little idea on how it can be. Kind of to be challenging as well. And then we will finish. Okay. So I hope that it was pleasing for you guys. So I'd be happy to have some feedback on the few person that have been following this exercise. Was it too fast, too complicated, or so what? So Furkan Akçakaya is asking, are you improvising? Yeah, I am. I've been following Urtindo for a while now, so I kind of have the idea, the philosophy in my finger, kind of, if I could say that. So some pattern that I just played, they are kind of a mix of a lot of different Urtindo. And I kind of do this this improvisation exercise. It's also a way to how to say, bring the person who's playing to higher level, to avoid memorizing and to really be trying to connect with the person, because the idea behind the Urtindo, especially for a Murderwatch, the Murderwatch should kind of be the horse of the singer, should really be supporting the singer and not pushing him to sing faster or to sing a specific way, because the singer should really be free to do whatever he or she wants. So by doing that exercise, it's kind of helping people to get into that direction. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that I've been sharing Motherhood physically in lesson for 3 years or something. And I've been using this method, this exercise, this practice for a year now. Actually, I started last summer, so 2019. So I've been experimenting with that exercise for almost a year, a little bit before COVID. And then during COVID, with online lesson, I also use that exercise. And it's also actually helping my student, if I could say student, relax more and be more into a hearing process instead of I memorize the thing and I just play mechanically. So this helps disconnecting kind of like the brain. It's kind of shortcutting the brain and force the person to just feel and listen to learn. And so I feel that it's very interesting. And also, I've been doing this exercise, this practice with people, with person that had never played the Morin. After a single hour of Morin practice, people can already enjoy a little bit this exercise. So not like we did today, because now it's been the third. So I'm kind of pushing the level higher. But the first version, which is in the Into the Morin Huur show, that's very basic, and it's almost, I think that it's possible for anyone that just take a Morin Huur to they can follow it, and already have this sense of I'm playing music with the Morin Huur. So that's kind of why I'm doing that. And also I'm not doing real urtindo on the beginning, because for me playing an urtindo, a real urtindo in a very stretched way, in a very slow way, in my opinion, that's a little bit wrong, kind of, because the urtindo is a little bit sacred, and it should be played kind of for real, and not just halfway or something. So instead of stretching real urtindo and disforming them, or do, I don't know, making shriek gum with them, or something, I prefer to make urtindo like urtindo, and make an improvisation. So yeah, that's kind of to answer the question about the improvisation. And then Alteski Kazakh, oh nice, Kazakh person, is asking, it's way too late for me to play the Morel right now, so I just listen. If I play right now, my neighbor will drag me out and stone me too. Okay, well, that's fine. The live will be on YouTube, so you can always replay the live and just use this part to do the practice. There is also one practice like that in the previous live from last week. So you can just use it and replay the live, and just this specific how to say, this specific part. I put the quick navigation. I will put it for this live. I will put it tomorrow when the video will be proceed by YouTube. So then you can get back to it and just check the time and click and replay, and if you want to do it again and all that. And as it's improvisation and kind of random, you don't need to memorize the melody. It's also quite long, so just follow and take your time and enjoy. So yeah. Oh, Magne, oh, I'm glad that you could enjoy and practice with us today. So that was awesome to play with you. Thanks a lot. I'm glad that you could manage. Yeah, that was, and Bjorn, yeah, that was a bit challenging. I need to learn more on the higher strings. Yeah, I wanted to how to say, to push a little bit, how to say, to give you something more, not just very long notes. So that's why also, even if you don't follow exactly, if you lose yourself sometimes, that doesn't matter, because when a murderwatch is following a doching, we, as a murderwatch, we cannot just do exactly the same thing as what the singer is doing, because the effect and all that, and that would become a little bit messy to do exactly the same on the murderwood. So sometime on the murderwood we just skip the notes, or 1-2 notes, and on the side the singer will do something that is super rich and very ornamented. So you don't have to do exactly the same thing that I'm doing. Sometime you can try. If you lose yourself, you just go back to the note that is going kind of to the average. If I take an example with the guitar and with the improvisation with the blues, because usually a lot of person kind of know a little bit about the pentatonic scale and the blues improvisation and all that. Basically, when you get too crazy on the guitar and you kind of lose yourself in the improvisation, then you can just go back to the main note that is currently going, and then it's kind of like a cat. You're always gonna fall on your feet. So that's kind of the same here. Sometimes you can try to repeat the ornament and the kind of rich decoration and stuff that are going on. And if it's too complex, if it's too complicated, then you just keep the background note. Kind of, it would be like if there is two singers together, one is doing the background drone, if I take the comparison with the Homi, Esquire, and so on, one is doing the drone, the background note, and the other one is doing the harmonics and the melody. So sometimes you're gonna be rich, sometimes you're gonna just give the background note. So it's fine. There is no rule about that. That's very open and freestyle, and it's just about like enjoying, and of course being on the right note, on the right average note. But all the different ornament are not needed to be repeated exactly like an echo. It's well, you understood. So yeah. Well, actually, Magne, about the tuning, if you're not tuned in the beginning, exactly, that's not too bad, because you can always compensate when you are on the string. Of course, when I would play an empty string, of course that's gonna be messy, because if we are not tuned, then the two notes, as in the two empty string, are not gonna be in tune. But it's still fine. You can adjust while playing on the string. The thing is, if you're not tuned, that might not help you with the right position for the notes. So better be in tune or very close to the tuning before we start. But know that sometimes when I follow a singer, the singer will tend to move the note a little bit higher. I when I sing, I tend to do it a little bit because of my stress. I tend to force, and if the notes start on the, then gradually this note, this reference note, will move up a little bit because of the tension and all that. So sometime on the Morin Huur, we need to adjust to the note that the singer is singing. It's not always like a piano, perfect. Sometimes it moves a little bit, gonna go higher a little bit, gonna go lower a little bit, and the instrument also might untune during the song. So it's fine. Just need to adjust a little bit, and that's why this exercise can be interesting, because it's also gonna help you learn a little bit about this adjustment on the fly, kind of. Okay, then Blond Vengeance is asking, do you ever sing while you play, or are you purely instrumental? Well, if you saw the previous live and so on, I'm mostly instrumental, but I start to get to use my voice, as some people think and feel that it's pretty cool. So I'm kind of getting into singing gradually. I'm very shy and very shy and a little bit afraid about it. But gradually I will sing more and more, hopefully, because I enjoy singing actually. Then Igor the best, hello. I love your content. Just a question, is it realistic for a foreigner to seek a job in Mongolia without knowing the language? Well, Igor, it depends on what job you are looking for. Usually, most foreigner here, there is a lot of foreigner that work here for a while. They have Mongolian wife. They lived in Mongolia for 10 years and they cannot even say good morning in Mongolian. So it's totally possible. It depends which work you want to do. Usually, most foreigner here, they teach English. A lot of foreigner are teacher of their native language or English teacher. There is, of course, a lot of person that um, work in the mining industry. So usually these people, they are not really, well, I prefer to stop talking about that directly because it's gonna get very bad. Anyway, well, if you don't know the language, you can try to get a job mostly for your native language and teach it. If you are English, well, or American, that's gonna be super easy. Now, of course, with the COVID situation, that's a little bit tricky. But yeah, if you want to work in a restaurant or something and you cannot speak the language, obviously that's gonna be a little bit complicated. So it really depends on what job you are aiming to get into. If you want, you can join Discord and we can talk about it and I will be able to give you more specific advice and input if you want, because like that's a little bit that's a very wide question. So it's I guess it's possible depending on the field that you are postulating into. Kazakh mean Cossack in Russian. My great grandfather was Don Cossack, but I also have a significant portion of Buryat Mongolian ancestry, so that should clear up my profile name. So that's Alteski Kazakh that is giving a little bit of insight about his name, and thanks for giving us this information. That's pretty cool. And Bjorn is asking, does the tsohilt work the same on the higher string? Yeah, it's exactly the same. Yeah, basically that's the same. The only thing that is a little bit that might be a little bit tricky. That's the fact that the little finger is going below the lower string. So I don't know if you can see, but my little finger is going below the the lower string. So eh, so yeah, like that. So you can see that the lower string is going on top of the little finger. So yeah, that's pretty close. The idea is the same. So I think that into the mode we went to two octaves, two octaves. So I would suggest you if again, guys, don't rush things. If you cannot do a vibrato, don't get into the hammering. If your vibrato is too fast, you don't need to put mistakes on top of other mistakes and bad habit and all that. So first, if you can follow the note kind of very comfortable without sweating, without being too crazy and stressed and all that, then you can start to add a little bit of vibrato and effect. If you're already stressed with just following the note, don't ever try to add more on that, because it's like you want to run super fast, but you cannot walk yet. So basically, I put decoration and all that, so it's also more pleasing for the ear, but it doesn't mean that you need to strictly exactly follow all single hammering vibrato that I'm doing. Follow your own level. If you are here, don't try to get in a sphere that is too complicated. Because the problem is that it's just gonna build more and more stress, more tension, more bad habit, and at some point you're just gonna get stuck. And I always say that, I always explain that most of my students, the person that learn with me, there is two kind. The one that goes step by step, little by little, that follow my advice, and usually they are growing super fast. And the other one, they just do whatever they want. They're not listening to the advice. They're not doing the basic exercise. They're not doing the bow exercise. They're not doing anything like that. They're just going through improvisation, craziness directly, and then they just get stuck. And then they complain, it's why my music, why my melody is not sounding like Mongolia? Why it's not sounding like you? And yeah, it's like there is no secret. Uh, Step one step at a time. So I just react like that because I see in your question that it means that you might not be too comfortable on the higher string yet. So you don't need to add more uncomfort. Just be comfortable by doing the simple note without vibrato, having the right volume, the right temper of the note of the string. And once it's you're gonna hit this perfectly each time, okay, now that it's perfect, we can add the next stuff. Next stuff is vibrato. Then once you can make the vibrato relax in every finger, every position, every strings and all that, okay, now the notes are always good. The bow is not getting stiff because you are changing the finger. Now you make the vibrato, and then while you are doing the vibrato, so second step, while you are doing the vibrato, the bow is not getting stiff. You still like can dissociate the movement of the left hand, which is this, with the movement of the right hand, which is like just horizontal. So it means that you still relax. And now the first step, okay, now we can add all these glissando, the tsohilt, the hammering and all that. So if you are already trying to put vibrato hammering in notes that you cannot hit yet, it's just gonna make you fall, and you're gonna hit the wall like super hard, because building good habit on a blank page, that's very easy, but removing bad habit, sometimes that's super hard. So I will never give this advice enough, I guess, but just take it one step at a time. And maybe what I would suggest, uh, usually, of course, the empty strings are the easiest thing, obviously. Then this part of the lower string is the second step. Then this part, third step. Then the higher string on this area, fourth, and then we go higher. So basically, what you can do, maybe you are comfortable on the lower string when to find a note. Maybe you can do the vibrato comfortable on the lower string, but when you hit the higher string, it get kind of tense and a little bit more difficult. So what you can do is that when you are playing on the lower string, as your note comfort is quite fine, then here you can do the effect, the vibrato, the tsohilt hammering and all that. But once you reach the second string, the higher string, maybe you can just focus on just the note. So it means that in some area where you are comfortable, you're gonna do all the ornaments, and on some other area that you are just learning to master, then you can be a little bit more humble and not get too crazy. So you can also adjust the way you are practicing. So it doesn't mean that you need to be strictly only on note everywhere or strictly with effect everywhere. If here on the first note you're comfortable, okay, here, this area you can get crazy and improvise. But here, still a little bit sensitive. So on this area, okay, more focused, more full note, and gradually the mastered area start like that, and then it will grow, and eventually you will be comfortable everywhere if you take the thing one step at a time and improving like that. So far it gave good results, so usually it works pretty well to do it like that. So yeah, I went a little bit crazy again. So but I think that's important because I see too many person having trouble with all these. So I think that's important to take things one step at a time. Yeah, it was a bit difficult when I tried. Maybe I just have to practice. Yeah, everything is about practice, and everything is also about being flexible. It's not like a prison or something. You can adjust and also be honest with yourself. And I'm not saying that to put people down or anything. It's just like, yeah, I know that here I'm okay. I feel that I'm okay. I'm not like getting stressed or sweating and everything. But once I get there, I can feel my body being tense and all that. So if you can be honest like that and watch yourself, then you can also adjust how you will practice. Okay, this is comfortable. Here I can be crazy. This, I'm very tense, I'm stressed, I sweat and all that. Okay, here more peaceful. Or it can be different. I'm just giving an example here. So yeah. I saw that there was a last question. So Ateski, Kazakh, motherhood and throat singing are my favorite ways of passing time during this pandemic. I'm in no rush at all. Yeah, that's great. Just enjoy, and the slower you learn, the slower you play, the faster you will learn. Definitely, and that works like for classical learning. All these violinists, cellists, and all that guitar, and if they want to play fast, they need to build the melody very slowly, so it really impregnate in the muscle, in the spirit, mind, and all that. So the slower, the faster. Also, maybe my metaphor has less room between the strings since it's an inner Mongolian type. Yeah, that might be the case. It depends on how the marhur was made, but that's indeed possible that the space between the string and the wood, it might be a little bit thinner. For me, I made this instrument, so I kind of did the space myself, but yeah, I really have a lot of space, like can almost put the hand behind, and yeah, here I can definitely put the hand, and because I like to have more space behind the string and the wood, especially for playing the tatlar and the urtindo. It's, in my opinion, more comfortable to play if there is more space like that. What you can do eventually is to put a little bit of leather on the back of the higher bridge to make it a little bit higher. So even if it's only a few millimeter, that can always help a little bit. A difference here of few millimeter can really make a huge difference in terms of comfort. So that's something that you can eventually try. Put a little bit of leather on the back side of the higher bridge to eventually make it a little bit bigger. So you can have a try like that. And then Kazia, wow, Wursodzek. Oh, sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Hello, I'm a bit late to the live stream. I love your video. I plan on learning Morin next year. I will then receive my instrument. Greeting from Poland. Oh, thanks a lot for your comment, and thanks a lot for joining. So I would like to ask, maybe you want to make a second Urtindo practice. Now, if there is some person that are motivated to make a second round of practice, tell me, and we can have a second one. If not, well, I guess that will be it for today. So yeah, what do you think, guys? More Urtindo practice or maybe not? Urtindo is so... I will take a little bit. Okay, so well, I guess that will be it for today. So as usual, I hope that you enjoyed the live. I hope that it was interesting and that you learned new things. For those who practice the Urtindo practice today, I hope that it was interesting and that you enjoyed and that it was fun. As usual, feel free to like and share this live if you thought that it was worth it. And you can subscribe on the channel, on the YouTube channel, to get the notification for the lives and for the Urtindo video and all that. And of course, you can join the Discord server. There now we are a little bit more than 200. That's super pretty awesome. So you can join there. There is sharing about the music, sharing about the culture, not just Mongolia, but folk music in general. So you can join there and we can have conversation. There is also a little bot to help learn Mongolian language, Mongolian words that you can also use there. So you can join the Discord. Link is in the description. And I think that's it for today. So until next time, may the blessing of the eternal blue sky be upon you. Bye bye.